Sorry I've only just arrived, but thanks very much, John, and thank you, Stella, for what you just said, and solidarity and support for everything you're going through, because I can only imagine how tough it is for you, but there's a lot of love for you out there. I think you know that. 2 points really, John. First of all, I did manage to pin Johnson down on this, and I got a rather surprising answer actually, because I was assuming I would be accused, because I usually am, of either purveying a Russian or Chinese or some other plot, and none of it was true, because that's the normal reply I get. And instead, he gave actually quite interesting reply, because he had probably been thinking about it quite a lot in the context of other deportations or threatened of them, removals from this country. And he said in terms that the extradition arrangements between Britain and the USA were severely imbalanced. Severely imbalanced. A very interesting choice of words on his part, because it showed two things. One is he had actually prepared for the question, even though he couldn't possibly have known I was going to bring it up, because I certainly didn't inform him in advance. And the only people that knew I was bringing it up were those in my office, and they certainly wouldn't have told him. So it was interesting that clearly it's a thought process that's going on there. And secondly, the role of the British media in this has been nothing short of scandalous, actually. Every time I've been outside the court, and we've been there quite a few times, there's dozens of actually very mainstream journalists from all around the world there. They're not just the left journalists, they're pretty mainstream from every other country except this one. Like, it's hardly reported at all. And if it is, it's always in the context that somehow or other Julian is sort of a threat to our national security or something, or some nonsense like this. Julian actually exposed the truth about a lot of the horrible stuff that's been going on around the world. He should be a hero. And indeed, in any other context around the world, so suppose Julian happened to have been born Russian than Australian, and he had done the same thing with Russian information, he'd be a hero all over the world, except probably in Russia. And so I think we should just think on that. And as to international solidarity, I was, as you probably know, John, in Mexico for a couple of weeks at the beginning, end of December, beginning of January. And Lara and I went to the President's daily press conference, which is quite a substantial affair. And he invited me to speak to the press conference about my views on economic strategies and so on, which I did. And very interestingly, he brought up the whole question of Julian Assange during his conference. And he also said, which I didn't know this before, you may have done, that he personally put a lot of pressure on Donald Trump just before Trump stepped down as president. Apparently with near success. It got very close, because Trump's answer was actually, again, quite nuanced. He said, well, on balance, I decided to let the legal process go ahead. And for Trump to use the word balance, I'd never heard him use it before. I'm not even sure he's aware of the word before. But so it was interesting. And President Lopez Obrador then said absolutely in terms, and I was sitting beside him when he said it, that the humanitarian door of Mexico is open for Julian Assange if ever he chooses to come. We will welcome him and give him peace and a place of safety and sanctuary in Mexico. And I think he should be thanked for that, because it does go in much of the best traditions of Mexico in granting asylum to people. And it's got many other problems, but it's done very well there. So I just think we should thank him for that. Our campaign has got to be as strong and big and wide and broad and loud and noisy as possible. And since the House of Lords have now said it's okay to have noisy demonstrations, we can go back with our bugles and continue those noisy demonstrations wherever we wish to do so. But I'm going to say thank you very much to John and to all of you on the panel for all the fantastic work you do in supporting somebody who has made this world a safer, not a more dangerous place. Well done, Julian.